안녕하세요. 황선미 채널의 황선미입니다. 오늘은 특별히 제가 ACCA라는 모임에 나와 있는데 거기서 좋은 친구를 만났어요. 그래서 제가 인터뷰를 좀 부탁을 했는데 해주겠다고 이야기를 해서 이렇게 인터뷰를 하게 되었습니다. Okay, Sharon, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And
안녕하세요.
good. 어렸을 때 한국에서 살았다고 해요. 의정부에서 살았다고 하는데 그때의 기억을 이제 가지고 있더라고요. Can you briefly introduce yourself to people?
Okay. Hi, I'm Sharon and I'm the Dean of the CGLD School of Counseling in Bangalore, India. Yeah, so I'm from India. I grew up for a few years in South Korea, especially in Ujongbu. My parents were missionaries in South Korea, and I went to school also in South Korea. So Korea culture is part of our lives, and I even passed it on to my children. So that's about it. One of the things that I do right now is I love working with students like you guys. I teach college master's level counseling. I also am the secretary of the Christian Counseling Association of India, and I'm a mom of 3 and a wife, and that's my priority. That's my priority. But God has called me at this time also to minister and to work with people like you to help the next line of counselors.
Okay. So you said God called you to become a professor in Christian counseling field. How did you know God called you on the field you work right now? Like there were sometimes people got so confused that if God really calls you on that direction or not. So I want to hear from you.
Well, growing up in a pastor's family, Muksanim's family, I've always heard the gospel. Along with hearing the gospel, I did not have a personal relationship with God. So when I was 12 years old, I had a God moment where God was telling that I needed to have a personal relationship with Him. So I accepted Christ through my mom. She told me about God. I was just crying, did not know why I was crying, and she told me and accepted. Along with that came a passion to serve God. But I used to stutter. I was never clear in speaking. I had a problem speaking. And I told God, at this moment, what I have as a small girl is singing and then doing choreography and things like that. So I told God, you take this and use this. I can't speak. I cannot speak properly. So long story short, in India, when you come to your 9th standard, you have to choose which field of education you're going into.
Yeah.
So my older sister is a medical doctor. So she was 100 out of 100 in maths final exams. She was a very, very studious person. I was the extracurricular person. Singing, music, anything besides studies. But I was average. I wasn't failing or anything like that. So God, at that moment, started talking to me. I kept hearing this word counseling. And I kept hearing it. And somehow each time I heard it somehow sunk in my heart. It was like, somebody just say counseling, knock, counseling. And I did not know what that was, because in India, when counseling, and in Korea also, it used to be the same. Counseling means older people, ajimas, telling you what to do.
Yeah, like a mentoring.
Mentoring. So they will be like, okay, you go here, you do this, everything will be fine. So I thought it was my retirement plan. Little did I know that there will be a field of counseling in India today. To make a long story short, I started going to college. When I started to choose college, I somehow chose psychology. I was interested in psychology. I did not know so much that psychology and counseling were related. Then when I was finishing my huge undergraduate in psychology, God opened a degree in my college called MSc in Applied Psychology, Counseling Psychology. First, this was second batch of counseling psychology in India. I was that.
Okay.
So it was a very new field. Didn't have so many mentors or trainers. So it's just the Holy Spirit and I. And God sent me to work in a social work ministry. But I used a lot of counseling training, and I used to practice counseling all the time. Any opportunity I had, I practiced it, because counseling has skills, and skills like running is, you can't just get up and start running. You have to practice running. So counseling skills is the same way. You have to practice counseling skills every day. Even with your families, your people that you love, around you, your girlfriend, boyfriend, that whole thing. So I used to train myself that way. And I also found that I'm a very extrovert. I like people. I love people. That people always come tell me things. So those were all opportunities to help people. So after many years, God said, you have to go to the US to study. And I did my double specialization in marriage and family therapy, because I feel called to help save the family structure in our nation and around the world.
It seems like you've been taking the pioneer role in your nation.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a pioneer. There are many people, but I think between the 98 to 2005, that whole batch of people who went into this field were pioneers in counseling psychology. We had clinical psychology, we had special education, special educators, but this counseling psychology, was during that period of time. So of course, I'm part of that group of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the same as me. We have clinical psychologists and other kinds of therapists, but it's kind of new movement that counseling psychology is separated and be independent from other
Yes.
areas
And valued too. Yes.
And we call ourselves Christian counseling, and I met you yesterday, and I feel already so close and related to you.
친구.
I feel so comfortable around you.
Okay.
So I can definitely see that people come to you and open the heart to you. And even we are nodding to each other, and it's one of the counseling skills. Okay. As you call yourself as Christian counselor, what do you think Christian counseling is different from counseling in general? Or if there is similarities more, then just tell us your opinion.
I like to identify myself as a Christian psychologist, a person who is a psychologist and who is a believer. And I believe that when I have clients, I've also trained in Christian counseling. So when I have clients who come to me and state that they want to be under Christian counseling, I have that skills. You see, when you're learning counseling, you have what I call as a bucket of goodies, like a fruit basket. Gift basket.
Yes.
A client comes to you and you have this this big gift basket, fruits, chocolates, juice, all that. So sometimes people need juice. Sometimes they need a fruit.
Then you give fruit.
I give fruit, I give juice, depending on the client's requirements and needs. So that is how I kind of identify myself. So I am not closed only to a particular sector. Now, with biblical Christian counseling is a passion for me. Why? It's because I'm a Muksanim's daughter, and I've seen a lot of clients coming from the church. They are so broken and hurt by the counseling that happens in church. More damages happen because people in church are not qualified. So seeing that, I've been very passionate. I feel like God has put a burden in my heart to strengthen this powerful ministry and calling of counseling in the church. It is not an allied program, but it is one of the programs which kind of like goes around in the church. It's part of everybody in the church. There should not be a believer who's saying, I'm hurting and I don't know where to go.
Sure.
That's shame on us.
That's shame for us.
Yes, because God has built the church for healing and for restoration. And if we don't go to the church, if we don't have that available in the church, then it's not good. So my passion is knowing that many people don't have that knowledge. It's not that they do on purpose. They don't have the knowledge. Pastors don't have that knowledge. They don't know the requirements. So I go and I train wherever I can, whenever time I have, to train pastors, train church people, and in biblical counseling or Christian counseling. And I also encourage them to finish a master's in counseling.
Enlist the masters.
Yes, at least.
Enlist. It seems like the purpose of educating people for you has a larger vision than counseling itself. It sounds like you have a ministry goal, and for people to equip the right skills for helping people. Yeah, for raising, helping professionals. Yeah, that's good.
Like everywhere I go, people come to me. If I speak at a conference, I speak at somewhere, or I'm just traveling on the bus. People talk, and the amount of hurt and depression that is there in the world today is so high. There are a lot of hurting people out there, and that really bothers me.
And it will increase.
Yes, it will increase.
Thank you, Sharon. Well, this is almost 11 o'clock and Sharon is going to leave tomorrow.
Yes.
And I asked her about this interview today, and I'm so thankful that you say yes.
Well, she bribed me with some ramyun, okay?
Yeah, but she's so full, so she cannot have ramen noodle. Thank you.
감사합니다.